AOCs Green New Deal could finally force the US to get serious about climate change. Los Angeles T. The United States and the world face a reckoning. We have burned the Green New Deal legislation introduced in the Beiruki Republic, Alexandria. To that degree, we welcome the effort and endorse its sweeping calls for getting Americans out of their cars, for transforming our power sources from fossil fuels to renewables, for seeking to recalibrate the nation's economy away from the things that may kill us, and for reorienting us toward more sustainable means of production, transportation, and daily living. Good for Ocasio-Cortez and Markey for making a dramatic statement acknowledging honestly where we are and how far we need to go. On the other hand, we live in the real world, and if this potentially existential problem is going to be addressed, it is going to have to be addressed there. In that regard, as a vision statement for the progressive left, the new Green Deal is admirable, but also largely unreachable. The difficult question, the non-binding nature of the Green New Deal legislation, is both a weakness and a strength. On the one hand, the more controversial elements of the proposal, meanwhile, should either be excised or allowed to wither on the vine. For instance, still, Ocasio-Cortez and Markey have the political world talking. Some of the discussion.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.